All right, 5-9 gamers, welcome back to another video. My name is Palmzor, and today we are going to talk about all the changes that were just announced in the news for the PvP in Dragon Ball Legends. And I am not alone. I am joined by Swift.
Yo, what up, fam?
Well, are you excited about the changes?
I'm kind of excited and I'm also kind of nervous. So the first thing that they talked about is if you look at what they put in the news, basically the first thing that they say is you get more chances to get more rewards, which is good. I think more rewards is really good. So basically they say up until now, most of the rewards for rating matches were only awarded to the top players, for example, top 10K, etc., stuff like that. In order to share the rewards among more players and make PvP more approachable, basically what they say is if you play 15 times, you're going to get rewards. And so we look at the system right now, and if you wanted to get the 1000cc, you had to get top 10K. So for some people, maybe that's, maybe some people just don't have enough time, or you don't have a good enough account, or whatever it is. But now you just play 15 times and you can get the rewards that they're going to be offering here. So I don't know if it's going to be the same amount. I guess it might just be 1000cc for 15 games. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll have to just wait and see. But I think overall I'm a fan of that. And then they say rewards will be distributed based on what percentile you achieve. And they do make a point to say you can't receive multiple types of rewards for the percentiles. So they make an example: if you rank first place, you're not going to get the first place reward and the top 15% reward. So, but overall, I think I'm a fan of this. More rewards for more people, I think, is a good thing for the game. And kind of like they say, it's going to make PvP more approachable to people. Some people that might not even play that much, now they're going to jump in to play those 15 games. So I think overall, I'm a fan of this.
I think this is nice. This might be like they're doing it with the raid right now, where you get those combat points, and basically, you get like 160 points on average. I think it's 45 times playing the raid, you get 1,000 chrono crystals. So it could be something like that, which is cool. And I think, the multiple ranking rewards is like if you're in the top 15%, you're not also going to get top 30 and stuff like this, and this is obvious. But in general, I also agree that this is great, because it also kind of lets you participate in how well the game is doing, as in how many people are playing PvP. Because if 10,000 people are playing PvP, obviously only the top 1,500 get rewards for the top 15%. But if it's 100,000 people, that's much better.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think as the game continues to get better and better, hopefully the player base starts building back up. And like you said, it'll kind of almost make things more competitive for at least the top rankers. Obviously, if you're just an average player, you don't play that much, you just hop in, get your 15 games done, whatever, and you get your rewards. But if you're kind of on the high end, you grind every day, you make sure you go for top 1,000 or top 500 or whatever it is, it's going to make things, I think, more competitive. So I think it's good on both sides. I think this is a really good thing for just the average player, and it's also really good for the more dedicated players.
Yeah, I agree. And also, a lot of people have seen the next point, the max battle rank raise to 70, as problematic. Personally, I have to say I don't know yet, because the thing is, they might raise the max battle rank to 70, but we don't know if the rating points needed for the max battle rank are also going to change, or if they're just going to do it like the red star system, where you have more steps in between.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't mind if it's higher rating points, because the ones that want to go to battle rank 70 and the ones that really want to grind, they're going to get 10,000 points per season anyways, right? So if battle rank 70 then is at like 8,500, 9,000 RP, for me, that's fine.
Yeah. Overall, I'm a fan of this. And the thing that I kind of saw in the back end of this, so they announced it's going from 50 to 70. I didn't see anything specific about when the season resets. I know they talk a little bit about that later, about something else, but what I was thinking is if they're raising it to 70, then maybe when the season resets, you jump back to 50, and then, you just don't have to deal with bots. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. Like, if they're increasing it to 70, and then they have it, you reset to 50 when the season resets, and then you just don't have to deal with bots, I think that's a phenomenal thing. So we'll just have to wait and see, though, because I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think they may just put no bots to level 70 then, because if you're the first one to reach battle rank 60 and there's nobody in your bracket, you need to wait until everybody else or some other people caught up. Otherwise, you're going to sit in queue forever.
That's a good point. So yeah, then maybe they just have bots all the way up until 70, kind of like they have bots all the way up to 50 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I was just getting excited for a second because I just I hate fighting bots with a passion. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting excited for a second.
It's a very shory task to do when you want to grind early.
Sure. But yeah, so yeah, we talked about the more rewards, rank getting to 70, and then they also talked about season ranks. So if you look on the screen right here, we got Diamond, Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze. Diamond is from 61 to 70, Platinum 51 to 60, Gold 41 to 50, Silver 21 to 40, and Bronze 1 to 20. And they say top players worldwide who meet the requirements will earn an extra special season rank after a certain amount of time has elapsed from the start of the season. Keep an eye out for any special ranks. Okay. And so this is what they talked about in the newsletter when they brought up the leagues, which obviously that's kind of what I thought. But I mean, once again, I'm a fan of this. I think this kind of coincides with the, increasing battle rank to 70. So they're also just adding, the different rank titles, 61 to 70, 51 to 60. You just get those different titles. So I'm a fan of this. This is cool. And the special season rank, I wonder.
It's God. I think that it was in one of the videos. I think it was on the 10-day countdown video on the Twitter. And there was one more league and it had the Kami sign and it said God underneath. So I think this is going to be the special rank.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm a fan of this stuff, man. Especially like people that play all the time. If you're grinding, day in, day out, trying to get whatever rank you're going for, if you just play a lot, I think stuff like this is going to really reward those, those really, really hard grinders. Now the question is, something like this, and like I said, the rank titles as well as increasing to 70, they kind of coincide together. I wonder, is this going to make things harder for a brand new player, or do you think it'll make it easier for a brand new player?
I think it might just not change a lot for the players. I mean, if they start in rank 1, they're still going to fight probably a ton of bots and also just inexperienced players like themselves, which I think is the goal of this whole ranking system. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the aim was to place players with similar skill levels together. And I think that's great because, the new players don't fight you on the first day of the season and just get discouraged from playing the game.
Right. And it happens all the time. That's something I know for sure. Like me and you have talked about before, is like every time the season resets, you just get thrown into just a random pool of players. You could play a veteran player, or you can play literally a brand new player that just got to rank 35. Like you don't know who you're going to match. So especially
after a double RP season when everybody gets to rank 50.
Oh yeah. Exactly. And that's kind of one of the bad things about double RP is like a new player where they just get rewarded with a lot more RP. That means whenever that double RP is over, then they're kind of stuck at that higher rank. So that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, one thing I find funny with the next point, the rating point increase, decrease adjusted, is that you now earn and lose more RP from matches. So basically, if you lose, you also lose more RP. And I think this is kind of interesting or funny just because they changed it before where you lose less RP when you lose. But I think, and that's also what they're saying, is they want to make the matchmaking better. So if you had a high rank where you quote unquote don't belong and then you lose a lot, then that you're going to be at your own skill level faster, I guess. You just drop down to people of your own skill level faster by losing more. It's frustrating, but I'm hoping, because I also saw screenshots of fellow players that had like 11 or 12,000 RP placed against the 6,000 RP person.
Yeah.
And they won 5 RP, but if you lose like 45, 50. It's, like high risk, low reward, and this is not how it should be. So I think this is a good change.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This is a good change, because when I think about it, if you're grinding PvP, right, and you get a bunch of wins, you get your RP, right? And then if you, let's say you get a bunch of losses, you end up not losing as much as maybe you should, because you know, if you go on like a 10, 20 game lose streak, realistically, I know people probably don't want to hear this, but realistically, if you're losing that much, you should probably be like lower to bracket, you know, now that we're getting these leagues, you know, diamond, platinum, gold, silver. Let's say you're up in diamond or something and you're losing constantly. Well, then maybe you need to go back to platinum and practice, or, you know, slowly build up a team, something like that. So I think in the long run, this is actually a good thing because it rewards people. If you're constantly winning, you're going to get pushed up leagues. If you're constantly losing, you'll get thrown back, you know, and playing people on the similar skill level. So I think in the long run, this is a good thing, but we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like.
Sounds like I have to rethink my no rising rush policy.
Yeah. Well, you actually just brought up a good point, because right now, if you're like one of the top rankers and you play somebody that has like 4,000 or 5,000 less RP, you're only getting, you know, 1 to 5 RP if you win. If you lose, you're losing, you know, 50, 60, whatever it is. So I wonder what this will look like with that. You know what I'm saying? So they're announcing you're getting more if you win, you're getting, and you're losing more if you lose, right?
It's probably going to be so like 10 and 80 or something.
Yeah, something like that. So if I guess I still think it's a good thing, but for the very high rankers, it could be, you know, one of those things, like if you have a bad game or you get your rush guest and you just get unlucky, you're going to end up losing a lot of RP. So I see it from both sides. I think it will be a good thing in the long run, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like for like the high rank people.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's about it for that. They did announce a first win bonus, which I'm a fan of this. It's not really too big of a deal. It's not anything crazy, but you know, for your first win every single day, you get extra RP. So basically what they're trying to do here is just encourage people to hop in and play PvP. So not anything too crazy, but I'm a fan of it. I think it's nice.
The funny thing is, what you just brought up is I would hate for, I don't know if it's going to be a fixed amount of RP, or, you know, you always get 20 RP on top, or if it's like a percentage. I hope it's fixed, because if you have a bad matchup on the first day or on the first match and you would have won 10 RP and you get like 10% RP extra, you gain like 1. But if you play somebody where you win 80, you know, it's a much higher, higher gain. So I hope it's a fixed number of RP that they give you.
Yeah, like I actually really agree with that. It should be a fixed amount. I was maybe thinking, like, what if it's just like for your first win of the day, maybe it's double RP. But even in that situation, if you're ranking really high and then you're gonna get like 2 RP for the match and you get 4, it's really not that big of a difference. So yeah, hopefully it is a fixed amount.
Yeah, I agree. Adjustments are also being made to the special rank up features so that it's easier to match with opponents of similar skill. Okay, that doesn't really say anything. So we're just going to skip over that. And the last and the biggest, or one of the biggest changes that are probably going to change the landscape of PvP as we know it, and I know this sounds dramatic, but I'm for real. The tier system. We already love it. We know it from the Tournament of Power. And I mean, one thing I have to say at first as a whale is this is definitely playing into my cards, because I have all the teams. I have all the units, and this helps me. But if you are a person that min-maxes 1 or 2 teams, and those teams or your core units are not in the higher tiers, you're going to do less damage. So this is like a double-edged sword. I think that the tier system and also the leader slot that we haven't gotten an announcement for yet were made to kind of take out powerful units like FSK Gohan a little bit at the heals, because, you know, this way the other units do more damage than him, and they can kind of even out. But you need to be aware that there are also players who only have a certain amount of teams and a certain amount of characters, and, you know, they still need to have fun. So I'm hoping, and we can have a look at the units here. We have different effects. So the featured tier, I guess this is whenever a new unit comes out or somebody gets a Zenkai, like you can see here, Super Saiyan Vegeta, the GT one, Fusion Zamasu, then the Ultra Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan Goku. Well, we don't have enough of those. Fused with Nail Piccolo. Oh, those are the new ones. Birdku and Piccolo. Stretchy arms.
Yeah,
and then,
so from my understanding is like this. So basically, like whether it's a new unit or a new Zenkai, it's going to be in the featured. And then like tier Z, tier S, tier A, B, C is going to be kind of more designated for the older units. That's kind of what I got from this. I could be wrong, but because yeah, if you look in the featured, it's kind of like the new Zenkais that they recently Zenkai'd.
Yeah, like Beerus, for example, the extreme one now.
Yeah.
Rose as the
So
event unit, and then the recent Zenkais and the recent units from the All Stars banner.
and if you compare, because I actually didn't notice, I did not even notice this before, but if you look at the what buffs featured gets, it's 20% damage buff, and they get a strike and blast defense 15%, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at tier Z, it's literally basically double that amount. So I think they purposely did this. Obviously, they've hopefully calculated a lot of this stuff behind the scenes, because if they don't know what they're doing here, this could be something that's bad for the game. But if they know what they're doing, this could be really, really good for the game, freshen things up a little bit. But what I'm getting at is the featured buffs is about half as much as tier Z, right? And they already said if it's going to be a featured boost unit, those are going to be the newer characters or the newly released Zenkai. So I'm actually glad that they have the featured section having a less of a buff than the tier Z, which if you go to look at tier Z, it's a lot of the old units that need help, right? So
Right.
and this is something that I've been kind of talking about since they announced this boost system. Is I'm really scared, are they gonna be boosting brand new units just to encourage people to summon, or are they gonna boost old units to kind of spice things up a little bit in PvP? So I'm
both.
actually looking at this right now. I'm a fan of this because they're buffing new units less than the old units, but then again, old units need more of a buff in the first place.
Exactly.
So,
and if you're wondering why I just scrolled frantically around, I was using the text search. I wanted to see if featured units could also be in any of the other tiers, but they are apparently not. Because they could be like, okay, the Super Saiyan Zenkai Vegeta is in a featured tier, but maybe he's also in tier A. So he also would get a total of 40 and 30. But no, he doesn't. And I think that's cool. And it also makes sense just because new units have the better kits than units that are 2 years old. It's just the nature of power creep. And so they need less of a buff, but I think that it makes sense that they still do get a buff, because imagine you're just throwing a multi at the newest LF banner, just a single unit LF banner. You pull 2-star copy of the unit. Most of the older ones, let's pick Rose, let's pick Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they were unusable at 2 stars in competitive PvP. But now they have that buff, and it seems like the really good units are going to be in the lower tiers, so they get less of a buff or even no buff in tier C. So, there's going to be a lot of team building, and same as TOP, which I actually love. Now you have to really think about which teams, are viable, which teams get the highest buffs. And sometimes you still want to play a unit that is in the lower tier just because their kit offsets the buffs. Sometimes you need that cover change unit, or you want to steal the Dragon Balls, or whatever else you want to do, card draw speed, all the good stuff. So now team building is basically at a whole new level, in my opinion, and I think it's very refreshing.
Yeah, I think overall this can be a very, very good thing for the game. And now that I actually noticed, because I didn't even notice this the first time I looked at this. But yeah, now that I noticed that the featured section is less of a buff than everything else, I feel a lot better. Because this could really, really freshen PvP up. You're going to start seeing teams that you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, that's a good thing for just the average player. And I think it's a good thing for content creators. I think it's, you can really, the possibilities are going to be endless on the teams that you can set up with this boost system.
Imagine seeing teams, you can see here, DBL01, the first banner, Kid Gohan, Piccolo, Yellow Pycon, Blue Pan. We have the blue Krillin, the green Bardock, first form Frieza, Cooler, all the old units. Imagine seeing those units in PvP again, not just in TOP and your opponents. It's just it's gonna
be crazy. And they already covered their bases on Zenkai and not Zenkai, because if you look, there's the buffs they get before Zenkai and the buffs they get after Zenkai. So if there's ever a situation where they Zenkai an old unit that's, let's say, already in this tier Z of this boost system, if they ever get Zenkai, then they've already covered their bases. They're not going to be getting all these crazy buffs. You Zenkai them and they only get the 10% or the 8% or whatever.
No, I think that's just an additional 8%. Or do you think it's instead of 20%?
No, the way that I looked at it is if it's something that's not Zenkai, you get the middle row buffs where it's like the higher buffs, and then on the right after Zenkai you only get that. But that I could
that could be right. That could be right, because
I could be wrong.
I think it makes more sense the way you say it. I thought that they get an additional 8% after Zenkai, which makes no sense because they already got the stat buffs. But to mitigate the stat buffs, they get less of the defensive stats and the less damage inflicted.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of looked at it. And then if you look at the overall little bracket, or just this little box right here with all the buffs, down in tier C is none. So from my understanding is probably every single unit in the game will be somewhere on this chart or graph or whatever you want to call it. Every unit will be either featured Z, S, A, B, C.
Look at tier C, dude. Look at
that are C.
Look at tier C. We have Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I'm assuming that's LF. We have Green Majin Buu. We have Super Gogeta, Super Saiyan Bardock. Then we have FSK Gohan.
These are all the good units.
Yeah, we have Gogeta, Super Saiyan Broly, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, Vados. These, I think that they went by how much those units were used. Kind of like in TOP. If they get used a lot.
All the Cybermen in there.
How dare they?
They should have dude, the Cybermen should have been up in tier Z, dude.
Wait, well, I don't see them here, but I'm assuming
they're
that
all the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom.
Oh yeah, here, Cyberman.
Yeah, they should be up in Z.
But those are hero. Those are hero. Oh no, there they are. Damn.
Yeah.
How could they do them dirty? I hope the pool force isn't
weird,
there.
But I don't know. I am happy to see that they have a tier C where you just receive 0 buffs, and then any of the busted units, they throw them down there.
Oh,
so I'm happy to see that.
A pool in tier B. But yeah, we're going to do a separate video for team building. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Let us know in the comments what you think of those changes. Did we miss anything? How do you like them? And what is your favorite or least favorite change about it? And does it make you play the game more or not? And with that said, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow us on Twitter for all the updates, and on Twitch for live podcasts and entertainment. This was Palmzord. I was joined by Swift.
Later.
Have a good one. Bye, everybody.